How goes the family? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully, you guys are having a great and exceptional day. I'll be on just for a little bit tonight. Reading this article the other day, and getting two different perspectives. One from a Grant Cardone. Him as a real estate mogul, crazy guy, but very always entertaining, very intelligent. From the bottom to the top kind of guy. So I respect that. Um, and then Ray Dalio. I've known about him for a while, and the things he's talking about right now is actually very, very, very interesting. And before I even play the video, let me get my share screen going on so we don't have any issues. Sorry for the technical issues we had last night. Can't stand that when that happens. It only happens when I go live. It usually never happens when I decide to just recording our videos and on all that good stuff. But anyways, the term cash is cash turning into trash. A lot of people have been saying this even before, the pandemic, but it's been talked about for a while now. In regards to, it's been talked about for a while now in regards to people putting the money into assets. Okay, and at the end of the day, money can buy certain things, but money is not an asset, but it can become an asset if you put it into something. If you put money into real estate, if you put money into a business, if you put money into a stock, if you put money into a bond, if you put money into something that's supposed to grow in value. A lot of people call money seeds. Because you're supposed to plant the seeds. That's what you're supposed to do with seeds. You're supposed to plant them into something, conserve them in a specific sort of way so that they grow into the natural being that they're supposed to be. And that's how money is supposed to be looked at, whether people want to believe it or not. And with that being said, for a lot of people, cash is turning into trash. And with inflation on the rise, there's been a lot of spending over the last couple of years. Not getting into politics, it's been spending on both sides. So you vote for you vote for, you believe in what you believe in. I don't care. I don't waste time arguing about politics because I don't make money off of it. Anyways, but yeah, it's very interesting to look at this because for a lot of people, a lot of the experts are calling cash trash. Outside of paying bills, because most people look at money as, hey, I need to pay my bills, I need to eat food, I need to put gas in my car, I need to make my payments, all that good stuff. That's how most people look at money. And then of course, the intelligent investor, the business owner looks at money in a totally different way. They want to not only utilize it to live off of, but they want to utilize it in order for them to make more money so that they can live the lifestyle that they want to live and make specific money moves in their own way, in their own fashion, and things of that nature. So I'm going to get into the video. You give me your perspective. I believe outside of living, cash is trash right now. For those who don't even want to put a couple of dollars a month away into an investment, I think everyone's doing themselves a disservice. But they're not even trying to put themselves in a position to increase their savings and increase their investments. But not you can't have one without, you can't just have all your money in the investments, because unless those investments are investments that you can just pull money from to utilize it for a rainy day fund, because things like that do happen. And there's a philosophy in regards to both aspects of these things. So, well, that's enough talk for me. Let's get this gentleman's opinion, and we're going to go from there. All right. So let's share the screen. All righty. Share screen. Share screen. Make sure everything is good to go. Got it. All righty. And let's play the video.
I believe that when you look at bonds and debt, a bond is a promise to receive currency. So you have, when you're holding a bond, that gives you no interest rate or a negative interest rate, and they're producing a lot of currency, and you're going to receive that. Why would you hold that bond? Okay. And And where is that bond and who owns that bond? Okay. So this period, like the 1930 to 45 period, is a period in which I think you'd be pretty crazy to own bonds. Okay, because what is a debt? A debt in a fiat currency is a promise to receive currency, and isn't it pretty clear they're going to make a lot of currency? So I think that changes the appeal of bonds. Why in the world would you hold the bonds? And that has a big effect. So when you start to think about how much wealth is in bonds, and where is that wealth going to go? And how's that going to work? And how are they going to control it? I have real thoughts about that. So what is a good storehold of wealth when we're all holding all of these debt assets? And how will that play out? That'll be an important consideration. Another, and that has to do with storehold of wealth. And so when I think of storehold of wealth, I think, what are the stable storehold of wealth in the form of stocks and other kinds of debt? I want those that have strong balance sheets, stable incomes, and so on, so that you're basically having those assets that will perform well in any kind of an environment. And I'll look at them based on how cheap or expensive they are.
Thankfully, Dalio does.
And that's when it really boils down to it, that truly is very, very interesting at the end of the day. A lot, because I've been hearing from a multitude of experts, economists, millionaires, billionaires, etc. I mean, if you don't know who Ray Dalio is, he's actually a billionaire hedge fund manager. So when he puts it, he's putting his perspective out there, giving his insights in regards to, how the world has responded to the global pandemic, because he was at a Reddit conference, and he basically was giving people his perspective and why they would everybody's basically saying, if you're over, and I'm not giving out financial advice, I'm just going off of what a lot of experts have stated. They're stating if you're under the age of 35, you shouldn't even be putting money into bonds and whatnot. I myself, I've been buying bonds since 2016, and I'm over that age range. So for me, it still works, but why would you do I put a lot of money into it? Not really. I just look at it as a little bit of a safety net. It's a different ball game now for the Gen Z generation, and even still a lot of millennials. And at the end of the day, one question was asked to Ray at the summit: what causes hyperinflation? He stated, "What causes hyperinflation? What economic indicator is a good predictor for coming hyperinflation?" And he stated, hyperinflation is an indicator of good predictor for coming hyperinflation, and it comes from investors who are holding money in credit assets, ergo bonds, wanting to sell those and move their money to other assets, either in the same country or in other countries. As they do this selling, central bank is putting into the position of having to choose between having interest rates go up, which is undesirable, obviously, because it weakens the economy, or printing money and buying those financial assets, which can devalue money and debt. When they need to do this a lot, it causes a monetary inflation, which becomes a hyperinflation. So it's very interesting what's going on right now, because you even see a lot of banks and other even pension funds actually even buying a lot of real estate right now, because a lot of thing is, when you even look at the real estate market right now, a lot of people are coming with cash money. So if a property is worth $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 or more, and some people are like, well, hey, I'm financing in order, going through a bank, getting a finance loan, home loan, in order for me to buy a property. That's all well and dandy. But if somebody's coming with cash money and they're like, well, hey, unless you outbid me, I'm going to come with cash money and outbid you. And then don't have to wait for the bank. All I got to do is write a check. And a lot of times, if a person, depending on the seller's situation, they're going to be like, hey, I'm going where the money is. Show me, like Jerry Maguire, show me the money. You know what I mean? So that, to me, is very, very, very interesting at the end of the day when you look at it. And I just think that the times that we're living in, it's going to get even more stranger and interesting to everybody. But what's considered strange now in the next couple of years is probably just going to be normal, in regards to even how more and more people look at money, because and the reason why the question's asked is cash turning into trash is because of the whole hyperinflation. And then the next question that came up is there a limit on what the government can spend to save money? And he stated, and I quote, government's creation of money and credit and its spending on this money and credit cannot produce goods and services or employ people, though it can give them money and credit to not go broke. The level of economic activity that we will see will depend on how we are changed by this experience with the virus. If it goes away and doesn't come back, if it comes back, that's another story. He stated, I believe we will be profoundly changed by this experience for many reasons, and I agree with that, if we haven't already been, including how the discussions about who will pay the bills, ergo, will we pass this debt on or will we raise taxes, and about who should have what, ergo, should there be fewer differences in our asset access to public needs? You know what I mean? Or will they, access to basic needs? Will that occur? Many other profound changes will also occur, such as attempts to have self-sufficiency in an independent world and the changes in the global world order. And at the end of the day, he's really just going in on how the whole world has changed. A lot of people, and a lot of things are, a lot of corporations were ready for something like this. They were actually prepared. Especially the mega corporations, they had the IT infrastructure in place in order for them to remain operational, to have more people work from home. A lot of governments had to put the IT infrastructure in place in order for them to have their employees work from home, but they did it. Okay, and that is the mindset of not only Ray Dalio, but that is just the mindset of even myself. I remember going, when the pandemic first started, I'm just like, hey, the world is in an interesting place. We're never going to be the same again. I mean, heck, even at my job, I never thought that I would see the day I had the opportunity to work from home, but I embraced every freaking moment of it. And I'm just gonna keep it at that. The next question was, is cash king right now? And he said, I'm glad you asked that. I can clarify. Back in the day, and still now, I believe that central banks will print a lot of money and keep cash interest rates at such a low levels that they will have negative real returns and negative returns relative to assets that behave well in times of reflation. When the virus hit and it had its negative impact on earnings and balance sheets, asset values plummeted, which made cash look comparatively attractive. However, what did the central banks do and whatnot? And what ended up actually happening, they actually created a ton more cash to buy debt and push interest rates lower, which is having the effect of pushing those assets that will be better suited for the new environment up. When you think about what assets are safe to own and you think of cash, please remember that while it doesn't move around in value as much as other assets, there is a costly negative return to it in relation to goods and services and other financial assets that amounts to about a couple of % a year, which adds up. So he stated, I still think that cash is trash. This is his opinion, not mine. He says cash is trash relative to other alternatives, particularly those that will retain their value or increase their value during reflationary periods, ergo some gold and some stocks. Now, that is very interesting because one thing I have been saying before the pandemic, during the pandemic, and I'll say it after the pandemic, is that hey, the mindset of assets over liabilities is real. Okay, I mean, my T-shirt says it's all about, and it says behind it, real estate, stocks, bonds, cryptocurrency, things of that nature. I should put gold on there, but really, at the end of the day, my point is that a lot of people have put a lot of time into learning and earning, but not investing. And I think that is one of the biggest problems that we don't take into consideration. All right. Investing just needs to be a part of life, and I'm not saying telling you how to invest. I'm just saying it just needs to be part of your everyday life. I mean, it's normal for most corporate jobs to enroll their employees directly into a 401k plan. So I work for corporations where you had a stock purchase program, okay, where they made it much more easier for you to buy stock via your paycheck outside of your quote unquote 401k. As a matter of fact, that's when I remember I was in my mid 20s, and I just like, hey, I knew basically nothing about the stock market in regards to what I know now. And I just said, sure, hey, because they gave us an opportunity to buy stock, the company I was working for, at a much cheaper price because I was an employee. So we got basically a I guess you could call it a coupon in a sense for being employees and whatnot. We got to buy the stock at like 50%, 60% off compared to outsiders who didn't work for the company. And a lot of corporations do that. And I said, sure. And it actually worked out in my favor. So I believe that everybody, like investing in stocks should be as normal, or I'm sorry, investing in anything should just be as normal as a person playing basketball, or I mean, being in the football, being in the sports, being in the video games. Like you got the new Mortal Kombat movies that's out right now. Everybody's excited over it. Kong versus Godzilla. Everybody's excited about it. That should be just as normal as people investing their money into stuff every single month. And we live in a time frame where even if you're like, well, I can't really afford it. If you can't afford $10 to invest your money every month, I don't know what you're doing with your life. And I'm just going to put it like that. I'm not trying to sound harsh, but I'm just keeping it real. $10, $20 a month. You can't invest something like that. I don't know what you're doing with your life. Okay, with the days of Uber, DoorDash, and Grubhub, there's ways for people to make more extra money on their own terms. So I'm just going to leave it at that. All right. But anyways, I will be back in 1 second, family. My dog is circling around, so I think she needs to use the restroom. So I shall return. All right, sorry about that, family. It's one of those nights. But anyways, as I was saying, Ray Dalio's mindset in that regards, I actually understand it, and like I said, not only understand it, I respect it, and I see where he's coming from. Even see where people like a Grant Cardone is coming when they're talking about cash is trash. Because if you look at the end of the day, if you look at the well-to-do, they've been within the last year since the pandemic, they've been flooding their money into a multitude. If it's not the stock market, they've been buying up real estate. They've been buying up more companies. It's been a multitude of things that they've been buying up and putting their time and money into. but they've been doing it, and it's been very interesting. And regular working people do the darndest and work very hard to save a dollar. So that's why I said I'm not talking bad about working people whatsoever. They do their darndest to save their dollars, to work hard. But we are just living in a time frame where you have to figure out a way to make your dollars work for you, because there's but so much time on this earth. Even people can physically or even mentally at times have the capability to work and earn. We have to turn that work. We're all trained to work and earn. We have to really learn how to work, earn, learn, and turn that our mindset to where we can make money 7 days a week in our sleep, 24 hours a day. The old saying goes, there's but so many hours in a day a person can work, but given the fact that money is not actually a human being or a person, it can work for you and never get tired. People eventually get tired, and that's just the reality of it. And do I agree with the whole cash is trash? No, I don't think cash is trash now. I think cash is at right now, all it's worth is what you buy and whatnot. So obviously you pay bills, you need food, you need shelter, things of that nature. I understand that. But outside of that, it basically is trash if you're not putting it in the things that grow. There's no really other way to put it. Ray Dalio's perspective, like I said, he's just one of many that put this perspective out there. It's not like it's brand new. He's just really giving it. He's just giving the perspective of what's going on now, and in a sense how 2021's economy could end up being worse than 2008, and that's the interesting part that people aren't really talking about. Is it? No, but could it be? Depends on the situation. It really does. And that's just, like I said, that's just how you have to look at it like that. And you have to throw the political nonsense out of the way. That's the first thing people have to do. They have to get off this Democrat, looking at everything through the eyes and lenses of Democrat and Republican, and look at the eyes of things through dollars and cents, because that's what's going to, at the end of the day, I don't know about you, but no matter who's president, the mortgage man and the rent man is like, hey, it's due on this specific date. No matter who the president was, the electric company and the gas company is like, hey, this bill is due on this date. Are you be paying it, or are we shutting you off? How's this going down? Netflix and Amazon want their money, no matter who's in the White House or the governor's house. So that's why I said we put more emphasis on that thing. Unless you work on Capitol Hill, or you work in a state house or a city house or something to that effect, it's a different story. But for everyday people, keep in mind on your dollars and cents, so that you can pay your mortgage and your rent. Okay, I can't put it any other way. But other than that, it's very interesting where things are at. It's very interesting where things are going, and I think for the most part, cash will turn into trash for those that don't want to play the game, and those that don't want to constantly get educated on how to make money moves. If you saw my rant earlier today, I talked about how one of my elders came to me and asked me for something, and I'm just like, it's sad to see people when they get to a certain age having to still work because they can't get by and they don't have any other financial resources to pull from. They're barely making it off of Social Security. I already gave my perspective about Social Security and whatnot, and we just live in a time frame where my mindset is this: if you can look at your financial portfolio and see things moving around in multiple other areas, then good. And you can still learn and earn and turn your life around by continuously, being a person that's open, not only just an open book, but a person who's not afraid to pick up a book or listen to a podcast and things of that nature. But that's got to be the mindset that we're on, family. Because if not, there's going to be a lot of people, especially in my generation, the millennial generation, when they quote unquote are at the age of retirement, they're going to probably have a couple $100 to their name, or maybe a couple $1,000s to their name, but that's not going to be enough for them to quote unquote retire. So you got to think outside of the 401k, think outside of the TSP. All right. And think outside of the NBA and the NFL. That's all I got to say on that. All right. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Give me your perspective in regards to Do you think cash is trash, or do you think cash is turning into trash? Because that is a real thing. And like I said, my personal opinion, I don't think cash is trash now, but I do think that the times that we're living in are very interesting. I do think that the people that are going to win are going to be the ones that were like, hey, I saw this coming a mile away, and I can see things consistently turning into a point where the only people that are going to win are going to be the business owners and investors. And that's at the end of the day, that's where people need to change their mind frame and go from there. You know what I mean? So they need to think outside of the 9 to 5, think outside of the corporation, think outside of the military, think outside of the government. We live in the times where you have to think outside of the box. Can't put it any way. Can't put it any other way, family. Because those are going to be the ones that win, not the people that want to be just basic. The basic people are not going to win. The basic people are going to possibly lose. So let me know in the comment section. Do you think cash is trash, or do you think cash is turning into trash? I don't think it's there yet. I think it's on its way to being there. And like I said, the winners are going to be the investors and the business owners, period. There's no other way to put it. On that note, I'm out. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's always greatly appreciated. Thank you, Marquita, for the like. Definitely greatly appreciated. Hopefully you guys have a great night. This week is going by pretty fast. It's crazy, but hey, it's all good in the neighborhood, and we are out, and I will see you guys. I might go live again on Saturday, and we can chop it up about other different things going on, but hey, it's been an interesting week. All right. Do the great 3 free things, family. Like, share, and subscribe. That's all I really ask. If you're interested in supporting your local businesses, please don't forget to check out the online store. It's all in the description. If you're interested in joining the GS Partners, go stay in the partners, or you can make cryptocurrency moves. All in the description. Sign up, and we can make money move together, family. All right. On that note, I'm out. Thanks for watching Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully you guys have a great night. Take care, family.